Hello there. Welcome to Apocalypse Movies, and this is our special Comic Hero Talk podcast. We haven't done it in a while, but we're going to start bringing it back, more often, especially with all these comic book movies coming out. For those of you who don't know, I'm Jacob Bartley, the host of the Movie News podcast, and you hear me on all these podcasts here at Apocalypse Movies, and I'm here with Gio Ramos and Jake Berlin again. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. I can't wait for My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 comes out next week.
Oh yeah, you're a huge fan of the first one, right? I still haven't seen it. Jake, how you doing?
Are you really?
Yeah, I love
I
the
didn't
first
know
one.
that. I'm good. Hanging
Doing
in there.
good.
Glad to be talking some
So,
superheroes.
it's Comic Hero Talk. What are we here to talk about? What's going on in the world today? What's coming out this next weekend? Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. We're here to talk about it. Just talk about our expectations, our excitement, what we expect from the film, speculation on what's going to be happening in this DC cinematic universe going forward. So, Jake, this was your idea to do this podcast. So, let's hear from you, man. What is going on? Are you excited for Batman v Superman?
I am excited. I know that I'm not excited as you guys are, but and I know Jacob didn't, but you didn't get a chance to watch Schmoes Know last night, right? So last night they had Chris Stuckman on, and he summed it up perfectly. Like, I agree with him 100%. He didn't like Man of Steel as well, or he was okay with it. So I'm gonna go with what he said. I'm fine with it, which puts me at like a 7 at my excitement level for Batman v Superman, 7 out of 10. But if I love Man of Steel like you, I would probably be at a 10 like you are. That's exactly why. I think it's because I didn't like Man of Steel as much as you did. I'm still very much looking forward to the movie. There are a lot of aspects of it I'm looking forward to, mainly Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm excited to see where they go with the Superman character after his arc in Man of Steel. Bringing in someone like Wonder Woman, who has been waiting for a shot on the big screen for years. And obviously you see Batman and Superman on the screen together for the first time ever, and they happen to be fighting each other. So, my excitement level is there. It may not be as much as others, but I'm going with you guys. Opening night, we're going IMAX. I'll be there in the seats with you guys, waiting for it to go down. So I'm still very excited for it. So.
Yeah. Gio, are you excited for this movie at all?
Not really. I mean, I've been waiting 3 years to see this movie, and during that time, I've been watching these mediocre Marvel movies. So it's just.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't even
those movies are
start
great.
with that.
But I cannot wait for Batman v Superman. Ever since they first announced it at Comic-Con 2013, none of us were expecting it. Zack Snyder walks on stage, has Harry Lennox come up, who plays General Swanwick, and says the iconic Dark Knight Returns line, where it basically teases that, Batman and Superman are going to fight. The marketing has been, for the most part, up. They had one down, and according to other people, I didn't think it was that bad. But, I mean, we're getting a new Batman, guys. And a lot of people were worried about Ben Affleck as Batman. They hated the idea. There hasn't been a hating this bad since Heath Ledger as the Joker. And
They're
right
still
now,
hating.
some people are still hating, but for the most part, he's won a lot of people over
Already, just in the marketing,
Right.
which
Yeah,
is
just
crazy.
in the marketing. So we're getting a whole new DC universe, one with a younger Lex Luthor, a combat trained Alfred. You have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman for the first time. It's really exciting. I'm really anxious to see how they're gonna do this. They're taking a different approach to this universe than Marvel. They're introducing everything at once. They're going to see what works, what doesn't work. So going forward, they know they can make the right moves. They can always adjust the slate and whatnot. So I'm very much excited for this movie.
Yeah, I mean, we did our most anticipated films of 2016 earlier this year, and what was at my number one and Gio's Batman v Superman. Yeah, and Gio, you said you've been waiting 3 years for this movie. I've been waiting almost 25 years for this movie. As long as I've been alive, I cannot express my excitement. And whenever I think about it, I feel like I'm in a dream, honestly, because it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like it's actually happening. And I had a similar feeling with Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I just cannot believe these movies are coming out, and. The marketing hasn't been perfect. Like you said, the second trailer was the one that had all the backlash. It wasn't because what they showed was bad. was because they showed us too much in the trailer. I think when we see it in the movie, it's going to be fine, but I just didn't want to see that in the trailer. But other than that, everything has been great. So for me, I absolutely love Man of Steel. Like, giving it a score, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. And just as much as I enjoyed it, I would probably give it a 10 out of 10 because I've watched that movie probably like 5 or 6 times, and it took me a while to get into it. First couple times, I thought it was all right, but just rewatching it,
How many times have you seen it?
like 5 or 6 times. Okay. I think it's a beautiful movie because I love the juxtaposition of him, him growing up and the flashbacks and all that, and his peaceful upbringing with the Kents, and then what's going on in modern day, and his father passing and all that. So I just think as far as studying Superman as an alien on Earth and how he would deal with being that on Earth, it was great. And the one flaw that prevents me from probably giving it a 10 out of 10 is that the action scene at the end went on for way too long. Like, and I agree with that.
Bloated.
It's just like, and I really love most of that action scene. It's freaking awesome. But
I agree with you.
And I think what that was Superman Returns, no action, right? No, there's no combat in that film. I mean, as far as I can remember, have you guys seen it,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you just had the machine gun scene where.
Well, people make jokes. It should be called Superman lifts stuff, because he like lifts a plane. So I think Zack Snyder was like, "F that. I'm letting Superman brawl in this movie," and I enjoyed it.
When you think about Superman going up to someone, it's full action. And
Yeah.
We've seen it in animated shows and movies and stuff.
So just maybe they should have just cut like 10 minutes from that scene, and then we're good. And a lot of people complain about him snapping Zod's. Jake, you said you're iffy about the film. Did you have a problem with him snapping Zod's neck?
I did it because it fit the story.
Yeah,
it needed to happen. So
it had to happen. Zod was not going to stop until he destroyed Earth and rebuilt Krypton on Earth. So, and he was about to obliterate a whole family right in front of Superman. He had to kill him. So I don't want to hear that bullshit complaint about Man of Steel. But I understand if you don't like the film overall, you just wasn't up to par from what you wanted. But if that's your complaint, then I don't even want to hear it. But going back to Batman v Superman, understanding how much I liked Man of Steel, understanding my background for growing up on superheroes and having a love for this is Batman's probably my second or third favorite comic book character of all time. And this is freaking Batman v Superman. And I'm excited to see them fight. But I'm also excited for what some people aren't excited about is the cameos of the Justice League members and Wonder Woman and, getting a young Lex Luthor. I'm excited for all of this because I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And as far as going back to the characters, I equally love the DC characters as much as I love the Marvel characters. So for me to live in a world where there's a flourishing DC universe and Marvel universe, I'll be the happiest person alive. So that's why Batman v Superman is my most anticipated movie this year. Because if this works, man, it's going to be a great time to be alive, and I'm super excited for it. All the characters to make their debuts, especially Wonder Woman. I cannot wait for Wonder Woman to make her debut in this film and for the Wonder Woman movie. So I'm really looking forward to this. So let's go talk about some of the things we might be worried about. Like, what negatives do we have going into Batman v Superman? Gio, start with you.
My worry is that the film will suffer a similar fate to Man of Steel, to where its reception is polarizing. You're gonna have people who either hate it or love it, and this film cannot have that. I mean, can it survive with that? Sure, I think it can, because you already have the Wonder Woman going, you have Ben Affleck as Batman, you have some things that will undoubtedly work in this movie, but it cannot suffer the same fate as Man of Steel. This one has to work, because if it doesn't, then I think Zack Snyder is out as director for Justice League Part 1. I think they're going to kind of readjust the slate, as previously mentioned. Maybe Batman gets a solo film sooner rather than later. So for me, it's just the story. I need it to work this time. I need it to all fit in. I need it to be organic, natural. And with a 2-hour and 31-minute runtime, I feel like they can pull it off. I feel like I've seen enough to where they can pull it off, but it's still just that worry. I'm reading comments on the internet. People just are not convinced that this can work, but we'll see. Nobody knows until we see the movie. All we can do now is judge from what we've seen and look what's on paper. And what's on paper right now, it looks great. But
Yeah, they got all the right pieces. It's just all about execution, Jake. So, I mean, you're the one who's most skeptical about this film going into it between us three. So, what are you worried about necessarily?
That they're trying to do too much. I think, and if they pull it off, they pull it off. But they're trying to cram everything into one movie, and I don't want it to take away from the main objective of Batman and Superman. And like if they had Wonder Woman in there, that's cool. But we're supposed to be seeing Aquaman, Cyborg, Flash, possibly a hint at Green Lantern, Lex Luthor. There's all these pieces involved, and I don't want to take away from Batman and Superman. I feel like they're just doing way too much, and I have from the beginning. And if it works, awesome. I'll love it. I think it'll be great. They have their universe started, but it's just there seems to be so much going on that it scares me. It does, and I don't want it to take away from the movie. I hope it doesn't. I'm gonna have an open mind going into it, but it's all the pieces that they're trying to juggle at once. That's the only thing.
Yeah, my main concern is the public perception of the film. I'm afraid, like you, Gio, that I'm going to love it and it's going to get a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes and it's going to be split amongst fans just like Man of Steel is. I'm afraid of that because in that situation, there's nothing I can do. I love the movie and I can't change people's minds. But at the same time, the movie's still going to make over $1 billion. So even if we talked about this before, even if it is, because it's not going to be Fantastic Four bad. I would bet $500 on that right now that it's not going to be Fantastic Four bad. But I don't think it's going to be, just quality-wise, it's not going to be Deadpool good, I don't think, just as quality-wise. I hope so. I hope it's better than Deadpool. I freaking hope so. But my fear is that it's like Amazing Spider-Man 2 received.
Well, I was just going to bring that up because the funny thing is if I'm not mistaken, Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Man of Steel are within like 2 or 3% each other on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
But the issue was that Amazing Spider-Man 2 did too much. They tried to do too much. Could Batman v Superman turn into that because they're trying to do too much?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Are they going to, Goblin was rushed in that movie.
Because that's the same rating.
That's my worry is that, but it's weird to me because Man of Steel is a far superior film to me than Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like far superior. So I don't agree with that Rotten Tomatoes score for Man of Steel at all. It's whatever. But just as far as because I can't control the public perception of the film, and that's what worries me. But just aside from that, just any like technical things, I keep going back to this. I'm worried about Lex Luthor. I like Jesse Eisenberg. I think he has the chops to pull it off. But it depends. What are they asking him to pull off? What type of character did they write? What type of character are they having him portray? We see the goofy, cracking jokes, Lex Luthor, and we've talked about this before. If that's the public persona that he wants to put off so no one thinks that he's really evil mastermind, and then behind closed doors he's really himself, like he's evil and menacing, then I'm totally fine with that. And also, sure, if you're going to have him maybe be a little annoying kid, for the Lex Luthor they're going for, it makes sense and then we're going to see him grow. We're going to see him as this immature, young, maybe 30-year-old Lex Luthor who, over time, over the Man of Steel sequels, becomes the Lex Luthor that we know. So if that's the way they're going, I'm fine with it. But I think the Lex Luthor could make or break this film, and that's what I'm most worried about.
Well, especially since we've heard that he's possibly behind controlling Superman.
Yeah.
In fighting Batman, that's what I mean. Not like actually controlling him, but manipulating him into fighting Batman.
I think he's manipulating both sides.
And that's a huge part of the movie. And if it doesn't work, then that kind of breaks down everything.
I want more than anything for him and Wonder Woman to work. I'm rooting for them because I don't know for sure, but I'm so confident in Batman and Superman as being portrayed their characters but I'm worried because those are arguably the next two leads, right? Wonder Woman and Lex Luthor.
Yes.
And
sure.
they are going to make or break the movie. It's not going to be Batman or Superman who make or break the movie. It's going to be those characters for me. So that's what I'm worried about. All right, well, let's kind of, similar to our movie scores, let's just give a rating. You kind of already alluded to yours earlier, but let's give a rating out of 10, our excitement level. I could probably predict all of ours right now, but let's start with you, Gio.
Oh, I thought we were gonna give a pre
No.
viewing
Our excitement level.
score rating.
We can do
We can do that after.
what we think the film will be.
Okay, my excitement will be a 10 out of 10, and my score for the film.
So is this what you think you're going to think of it?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a 10 out of 10.
Holy
Woo! All right, Jake. What is your excitement?
Well, my excitement level, I said it's a 7 out of 10,
Yeah.
and that's just solely based on the fact that I didn't love Man of Steel like you guys. What I think the movie is going to be, or what I will say it will be, I'll say 8 out of 10.
And that would be freaking great.
Yes, I'll
if
say
it's
8
an
out of
8 out of 10.
10. But, yeah, so.
No,
no,
something
go
else? Oh, for me, my excitement level is 100 out of 10. And I can't, it's more than 10 out of 10 is all I'll say.
It's fine.
Like it's breaking the roof. But I think, and I will be satisfied with this, I think my score is, and this is based on nothing. We have no idea, but I think I'm going to walk out of there like 8.5 out of 10, and I will be the happiest guy in the world if it gets an 8.5 out of 10 for me, because that's great. I want it to be a 10 out of 10, don't get me wrong, but I think 8.5 out of 10 will be great, and I just hope that Rotten Tomatoes score is above 80, and I hope the fans love it, because that's going to
Make or break.
It's gonna make or break the perception of this universe going forward, because they're gonna do Wonder Woman, and they're already shooting it. They're gonna make these movies no matter what, and Justice League for sure. So we'll see. All right, well, that's gonna wrap up our special for this Batman v Superman Comic Hero Talk podcast. Did you guys have any last thoughts regarding Batman v Superman at all?
Can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a fun movie to watch for sure.
Yeah.
We're taking shots that night.
I think Jake is gonna freaking love this movie. That's my prediction. I think you're gonna be walking out
Hey, listen,
so
I know that,
freaking happy.
Listen, I know that I've been, iffy about the movie for the longest time, but if I love the movie, I will be on top of the world because I do want it to succeed.
Yeah,
I think it needs to succeed.
Yeah.
And so I'll be happy if that ends up being the result.
I think we're all gonna love it, and I think that you're gonna love it for sure. All right, well, I want to thank Gio and Jake for joining me today. Gio, where can they find you online?
Twitter at GioRamos24 and apocalypsemovies.com.
And Jake?
Twitter, Instagram at Qui-Gon Jake, and apocalypsemovies.com every day.
And you can find me, Jacob Bartley, on Twitter at @JacobBartley_ on this Apocalypse Movies YouTube channel. Hit subscribe. Hit that like button, please. We really appreciate it. And get ready for Batman v Superman. Maybe watch some Daredevil v Punisher while you're waiting for that on Netflix. Watch Daredevil Season 2. And till next time, y'all take care.